The customer has now spent 4,000 euros, came back to me with the same problem, but this time he's called me to his house. We're in trouble.
I'm the customer. I'm the man who's put up with all this. In the beginning, we had a problem, and the problem escalated out of all proportion.
Right, look at the mileage as well compared to the last video. So as you can see, this is lit up like a Christmas tree. All these lights, the fact that it will not go out of second gear, it will not go into automatic mode, it will not release the handbrake, it will not do anything. All these fault codes, they are all to do with one issue. And it puts all these lights on and basically completely cripples the car because of one issue. Right, there we go. That's our error code. And if you remember from the last video, or the second to last video, we had a left front. So there you go. And I know people are just going to say it's the same thing, but because they just read the title and they do not watch the video properly, which is just absolutely hilarious. Right, so we're going to live data. That's just saying we can't basically go over 10 miles an hour. Dynamic information. And we will select the ABS sensors and we will go show, and we will set them up in, well, first, I mean, it is good to show the graph, to be honest. We can only fit 3. Oh yeah, I remember, only fit 3 on the, so if we go back to this, no, what am I doing? Well, we might be able to fit all 4 on there if we do it that way. Can we do that? Just, it's a bit easier to see. There we go. We can fit all 4. Now, before I move, I just need to make sure I'm not going to run over any chickens. Right, I don't think I'm going to run over any chickens. Handbrake is on. Handbrake won't release now. Come on, release. Turn the car off. Switch the ignition on. Now release the handbrake. Now start the car. Now put it in D, or first gear, and now we can drive. Now look at that. You can clearly see 3 of them move. The bottom one is just completely dead. Doesn't do anything. And this is the issue. Now the first ever issue, this is where people just don't listen to what I say and they just read the title. We had, the first ever issue, we had an issue with the gearbox and the clutch, which caused the same symptoms. Then we had an issue with an ABS sensor. Now we've got an issue with another ABS sensor. So they're 3 completely separate faults, but they cause the exact same symptoms. And that's what people can't seem to get. So we have the same symptoms, just having one ABS sensor gone than we did when we had the clutch gone. We have the same symptoms as one ABS sensor gone as we did when we had a gearbox issue. It's the same symptoms but different problems. Just because the symptoms are the same doesn't mean the issue is the same. And that's what people just couldn't get. And all the people said that I screwed the customer. Well, you've seen the customer at the beginning of the video, and if I was screwing him, I really wouldn't be coming back now, would I? I've just missed on the dash, it just said gearbox fault as well. I've just missed it. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this car ready, we're going to jack it up, and we're going to replace the sensor. Genuine sensor, There's the part number for everyone playing along at home. I've done videos before on how to test to make sure it is the ABS sensor and not like the magnet pickup or the tone ring or a power issue. I've done videos on that, so you can check them out. This one is just a simple connection in behind this cover and a 10mm. You see it just there. Now that can be an issue because that, as you can see, when I get the new sensor out, where is it? Can you see it? No, I can't really see it, but it, you know, it can just be a little bit awkward because it sits flush and the bolt can be seized, the bolt can break, and rust can sit in between here and cause all sorts of issues for getting the sensor in and getting the sensor out. I'll show you once I've got it off. Right, this one came out all right actually. What can sometimes happen is, see the two edges here, they can build up with rust and cause the sensor to kind of pinch in the middle and break. And also when you try and put it back without cleaning it properly, you can force it in and put the bolt in and then snap the sensor. So you need to make sure you clean that really well, and make sure everything is good before you do anything else. You also have to be careful with the wheel bearing clip. You can just see it there, there's a space in between where if you do a wheel bearing on one of these, I have shown in another video, you have to get that clip in the right place, because otherwise this pickup here won't work. So you know, it'll cover the pickup and the ABS won't work at all, and you've only got a little bit of a space to get that in between. And yeah, so just bear that in mind too, especially if you're doing a wheel bearing on one of these. Right, so you pay all that money for a genuine sensor and they don't even give you that little clip with it. Thank you, Peugeot, thanks a lot. Right, always good to check the sensors, even though it's a main dealer part ordered with the chassis number, but that means nothing because there is a slight difference to these. This must be a slightly updated version of the sensor. Can you see the difference? Camera focus, there you go, look. This is actually longer, slightly longer, and this one on this is slightly angled. Focus camera. Now this one is dead straight. So either it's wrong or it's an updated part. Let me just see if it fits and doesn't hit anything. Right, so it's in, it fits lovely. Oh, can we get it in there? There we go, look, no problems. And seriously, Peugeot, seriously, put the frigging clip in. Like, come on, for fuck's sake. You charge enough for it, so you can put the fucking clip in, alright? So all I got to do now is clip this in place, put the other mounting tab in, which is just there, the rubber grommet, and get it in there. And we'll check, was I right? Have I screwed the customer? Again, like everyone says, even though they don't listen to what I say, they just read the title. Right, there's a chance I don't have to clear the codes, but there's a chance I might. So there we go, look. They've gone off straight away just with the ignition on. There we go. Absolutely, I've still got the wheel up. But there we go, I haven't even turned the diagnostic on, it's still there charging. So there we go, look, straight away it's recognised this car is going to be fixed, I know it. Let me put the wheel back on and take it for a drive. Right, so there we go, it's all in back behind this. You just lift up this cover and there's a little plastic ear here which just slots into that there, and that's how it goes. The old one I thought was slightly better because these could actually move, so you could slide these up and down. This one's fixed. And it seems a little bit tight. I mean, it's not tight, there's a bit of room in it, but I just kind of prefer these ones because we've got loads of room here, like loads. I would have preferred to just be able to slide it up there a little bit more, but I can't because the way it is, it doesn't allow you to slide. But we'll put the wheel back on now, take it for a drive. Right, patent pending, £2 billion each, chicken caller. Are you ready? See? See? There we go. There we go. So I'll be selling these very shortly for £2 billion. Make your order soon and I'll give them to you for £1 billion, which is a 50% saving. And you can call chickens to you. Boom. What more do you want? Hello. How's it hanging? No, that's my knee. That's my knee. Yeah. How you doing? Right, we'll start it up again. What it should do this time is as soon as I put it into gear and start to drive off, it should automatically release for me. The customer has just come in. So when I take off now, this should automatically come out of gear. The EPS light has come off as well, so this should automatically release the handbrake. And there we go. It has. And there we go. Boom! If I stop, put it in neutral, take the key out. Hopefully you heard that. See the light come back on, automatically release, automatically put on the brake, and again put it in reverse. Have to be careful of the old chickens. And automatically, yeah, it goes off. Now I need to make sure I'm not running over chickens. Give me 1 second. Right, so you ready? All them faults are still there because they're basically saved into the memory now. So if I just go, turn the engine off, Leon, and there we go, look. No more fault codes. Just like I said. Boom.
I'm the customer. I'm the man who's put up with all this. In the beginning, we had a problem. And the problem escalated out of all proportion. Largely fired by the main dealer, who couldn't recognize the problem if you put it down in front of him on a hot plate. But it's solved. It's now fixed, and I don't like modern cars. Sensor to me is a word that equates with the devil, and I would happily do without them. Give me back something that works with a spanner and a little hammer any day. Anyway, the car's fixed thanks largely to this gentleman, who's a clever man. There you go.
So how do you feel about being screwed all these times from all the comments? Well, everyone says that you've been screwed and I should learn how to fix cars.
Well, they weren't here. They weren't here, and they don't know the amount of time and effort you put in, way beyond the call of duty.
And they also just read the title and not actually what I was saying in the video. That's another thing. That is another thing. That people they just read the title and they took everything from there.
Yeah. The whole thing has been an eye-opener to me. It's something extraordinary, the way these sensors interact with each other.
So we'll just quickly explain what kind of originally happened. Originally, essentially what happened is you had no drive. The car would only go to first gear, possibly second gear. The automatic handbrake wouldn't work. The ABS light was on. All the lights are on the dash. Yeah. And when we first did it, it was a gearbox issue and a clutch issue. Was that correct? That's when we first fixed it.
Yes, the very
first one. Yes.
Yeah, that's all perfectly correct. Although
yeah.
I was just the first indication that something was going wrong was in the brake sensors weren't working properly, and we got over that by that seemed to rectify itself for a while. But it started there. It started sometime, yeah. And then it built up from that.
And then we fixed that, but then a few months later, which obviously they don't see on the video, you had the same symptoms. All the lights are on. Yeah. It wouldn't go out of gear, but the second time it turned out to be the far side ABS sensor. But you were having the same symptoms as what you had the first time, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was trying to explain in the video first, that you technically came back after spending all that money, but you had a different fault but the same symptoms. That was the key. And now this is now the third time. I don't know, maybe a year later, maybe more, is it? Is it about a year later, maybe more?
Yeah, way over it, yeah.
Yeah, nearly, well, maybe, yeah, a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. And now we have this sensor gone. So we have another sensor gone, but you had the same symptoms. That was causing the same problems,
Yeah.
but again, a different issue, and that's what people can't understand. But now it's all done. You're now smiling again for how long, I don't know. It's all done, and you can drive this beautiful 3008 again.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
That's great. It's I know it sounds strange possibly, but I actually enjoy driving the car.
It does sound a bit strange. Well, no, actually, to be fair, I have to say, it is quite comfortable.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just a shame it's a Peugeot.
Just a
French
shame.
electrics. So there we go. I hope now everybody can clearly see what's going on. If I truly did screw the customer out of thousands of euros, I'm pretty much certain he wouldn't be calling me back to, you know, to work on his car. I could be wrong, but I'd be pretty much certain that would be the case. The customer obviously knows the issues he was having and what we fixed, and then we had other issues which was causing the same symptoms. It's very difficult to get that through on camera because there is months and years in between the videos. But yeah, that's basically it. This red machine is now going, it's now driving properly, and we should be good to go again for another couple of hours anyway.
Very good. Very good indeed.